We've all done it, right? Told that tiny, harmless lie just to make life a little bit easier. But what if that small act is actually the first domino in a chain reaction that could bring down an entire society? Today, we're diving into the surprisingly high cost of those small lies.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. That sounds a little dramatic, doesn't it? A simple white lie and a full-blown societal collapse. But the sources we're breaking down today draw a terrifyingly straight line between the two. And we're going to follow that line from just a single drop of poison in the well to a flood that can wash away the very foundations of trust.
And this quote, man, it just cuts right to the heart of the issue. We have this tendency to see our own little deceptions as, no big deal, just minor things. But the perspective we're exploring argues the exact opposite, that every single falsehood, no matter how small you think it is, carries a real, measurable weight.
So where does this whole societal decay even begin? Well, it's not with some grand conspiracy or a major crime. Nope. It starts with something much, much smaller. Something we've all seen, maybe even done. The so-called harmless lie.
Yeah, these probably feel super familiar, don't they? The customer who swears the product was broken on arrival, the friend who texts, "I'm on my way," when they're still in the shower, or the business that kinda stretches the truth about its products. We see this stuff every single day. And according to our source, each one of these is like a drop of poison entering the system.
But here's the thing about a lie. It doesn't just sit there in a vacuum. It needs an audience. And this is where the problem really starts to multiply. The source argues the lie itself is only half the issue. The other half, the more dangerous half, is what happens when we hear that lie and we just say nothing.
This is a really, really crucial point. Hearing a lie and just staying silent is actually a form of participation. We might tell ourselves we're just avoiding a fight or, minding our own business. But from this perspective, our silence is the very thing that lets the lie take root and start to spread.
And boom, you can just see the dominoes start to fall. When nobody pushes back, slander becomes normal. The dishonest people get bolder and they gain power. Pretty soon, that basic trust between neighbors starts to erode. Then, the bonds between family members start to break. And the final result? A society where it's basically every person for themselves. All right, so this brings us to what the source calls the single most dangerous figure in a society drowning in dishonesty. And it's not the person who openly hates you or disagrees with you. No, it's the person who pretends to be your friend.
And a source is super specific about this. This isn't just someone who's a bit two-faced. This is someone who deliberately mirrors your own identity, your beliefs, your values, your community, all as a strategy to get you to trust them just so they can lead you down the wrong path.
I mean, look at this comparison. It is night and day, right? With an open enemy, at least you know where they stand. You know to keep your guard up. But the hypocrite, this hidden enemy, they completely disarm you. They get close, they make you feel safe, and that's when the real damage begins. It's not a direct attack, it's a slow, corrupting burn.
So the source lays out this incredible analogy to explain how this works. Picture this. A new friend shares all your values. They're funny, they're engaging. Then they invite you out with their other friends to a bar. Now, you don't drink, so you just have a soda. No big deal, right? But the next time, maybe they suggest you try a fruit liqueur. It's not really alcohol, they say. Before you know it, months have gone by and you're an expert on wine. It happens one small step at a time, a series of tiny compromises that you barely even notice. So let's pull all these threads together. What's the end game here? What happens when a whole society is filled with these small lies, this silent agreement, and these hidden enemies? Where does this road actually lead?
It all boils down to one thing, just one, a complete and total breakdown of trust. Every single one of those little lies, every time we stay silent, every hidden manipulation, they all act like acid, just dissolving the social glue that holds us all together. The final cost isn't just a society that's less pleasant to live in, it's a society that can no longer function at all. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty bleak, but the source doesn't just leave us in the dark. It offers a solution, a path back. And it is not an easy one. It's the difficult but absolutely essential practice of radical honesty.
And I absolutely love this analogy it gives us. It's so direct, so relatable. The source basically argues that we need to stop thinking about truthfulness as just a state of being and start thinking of it like a muscle that we have to actively build. And when you first start, it's gonna hurt. Think about it. Telling the truth when a lie would be so much easier might cost you a friendship, or a sale, or just some social comfort. Speaking up against a lie might make you unpopular. The source totally acknowledges that this initial pain is real. It's that soreness you feel after your first real workout.
But, and this is the big but, here comes the payoff. Just like with exercise, if you stick with it, that pain eventually turns into strength. Personal integrity becomes your default setting. And when individuals get strong in their honesty, they start to rebuild the foundations of trust for everyone. That's what creates resilience, peace, and a society that actually works.
And so that leaves us with a very personal challenge, doesn't it? It's really easy to look at this as some huge societal problem that's way out of our hands. But the whole argument here is that this massive problem started with an individual choice, which means the solution has to start there too. So the next time you encounter that small lie, that tiny drop of poison, what are you going to do?